to
Thank you, John.
stream
Thank
through
you, mate.
WorkApp. And what you're doing
Cool.
is lovable, is really lovable. So that's why I just wanted to know much about it, the passion behind it, the inspiration behind it, So let's go. I'll just introduce you and let's do this.
Thanks, John. Oh, well, look, first of all, thanks for being patient with that whole Facebook Live thing. And it didn't work out. We didn't get to do a live, but that's all right. We're recording straight after, so that's commitment, mate. So thanks for being patient with that. So WorkApp's 6.5 years in the making now. So it's been a long journey, let's just say, as a startup process, but a very rewarding one for me personally, emotionally, as well as spiritually, because it's certainly tested the limits of how much you can get your thinking on track and block out all the white noise from the naysayers and the people that think you can't do things. So that's really been quite a journey for me, and I've come out the other side of it. I'm feeling very strong now because I've got great people like yourself, like you've just said. You've put your podcast on WorkApp. There's other businesses around the world coming on WorkApp. There's lots of stuff here in Australia coming on WorkApp. And do you know what, John? That's just going to keep going. That's not going to stop. And in fact, it's going to snowball. And that's where we're at right now with WorkApp. So it's a real thrill, mate.
That's so lovable, mate. And before we even go further, I would just like you to tell us a little bit of WorkApp. We only see WorkApp, but when somebody wants to understand what is the meaning, what is it working up?
Well, it's basically a combination of the worldwide industry into one platform without the fees. It's a totally free digital platform for automotive and real estate, workers and jobs, buying and selling, and much, much more. John, we've even added a digital shop feature with a merchant facility, shopping cart, PayPal integration, and people and businesses do not pay 1% fees. No fees, no charges, no commissions. This is built to help people thrive in the digital age, and that's what it's truly about. And see, the beauty of WorkApp is it's reward for effort because it's a geolocation-based thing. No one can pay their way to the top in the search results on WorkApp, you see. It's the closest active plumber, hairdresser, mechanic, massage therapist, instead of who pays like on other platforms. This is about creating prosperity for the world and leveling the playing field so that we can all basically, make our ends meet and thrive in this digital age. That's what WorkApp's about.
It interests me, very interesting to understand what you said. I marked it and I wanted to quote it, levelizing the ground. One Talk Radio podcast is all about teaching people to help others by leveling the ground, not giving advantage. We've been in a world and a society where women are given priority. They are not given levelized ground to work out things. They are given priority. They want to be, given advantage, which to me, I've always believed is not the best way to empower people. You empower people by giving them a platform, not by giving them an advantage. Giving a safe platform, resources that are distributed equally, and that's what WorkApp is doing. And, everything that comes up across the world, there must always be a story behind them. Things don't just work. Things don't just happen. You don't just wake up and you have WorkApp. There must be a story behind WorkApp. So could you just tell us maybe what inspired you or what is the story behind WorkApp?
Well, it was actually my brother's idea. He's a tradesperson here, and he's also been a landscaper, and he's been in the pool installation game and various things in the trades. And one day he had a concrete truck turn up and his labourer pull out on him at the last minute. So it left him with, two options. Number one, turn the concrete truck around and pay for the load anyway. Or number two, somehow find a labourer in the next few minutes, which is not that easy, right? And if he was to go to the system and try and get a labourer, well, A, they couldn't get him one in a few minutes, and B, they'd charge him $30 an hour for the labourer, and the labourer gets paid $18 an hour. So the company who's outsourcing it has got this other $12 an hour, and that's pretty hefty for a small business and tradies out there that are trying to, earn a quid and that sort of thing. So he actually joked in his vehicle and drove up the street yelling out, need a worker, need a worker. And he found a person at the end of the street and saved the day for himself, and ended up ringing me and saying, let's build an app that finds the closest active workers to the job sites, because us tradespeople really need it. And that's how WorkApp started. It started from a true need, not a money-making venture, not a hey, let's get rich, build this platform and that sort of thing. It was from a true need. And so we basically decided, you know what, that's a really good idea. And along the way, over the years, we combined a lot of other features, obviously. It started out just about finding the closest active worker, but now it's a combination of all the digital platforms into one, not social media. It doesn't have a news feed, so it's not a social media platform. It's an industry connection tool that is 100% free, where the other platforms are charging a lot of money, and small businesses today need a real helping hand, John, and WorkApp's here to do that for them.
Definitely. And it's also interesting to understand. You've touched about it's a free platform, not a money-making platform. And, we are living in a digitalized world. And something that is really interesting me to understand about WorkApp, because I'm one of those guys who are also using this app. The platform you give us for free to list and also boost a ranking on your app, it's I really understand that this does cost something. So, taking that initiative to be doing it for free gives WorkApp a certain kind of, advantage as compared to many platforms and apps that we have around, because we have those that have developed really and have been there for long in the market. But WorkApp comes with something new. It gives us a place to be without charges, And
that's correct.
Every time you come in and you refresh your listing, it boosts your ranking to be in the top list. So why decide that? Why decide to take the burden on yourself?
Yeah, why free? And more importantly, how free? That's what people want to ask. How is it free? How can you be free? Well, advertising is the revenue model of WorkApp. It's a real simple model. We call it WorkApp Billboards. Okay, and WorkApp Billboards is a digital billboard that is set in the search results or on the What's Fresh showcase, and it's separate to the free listings. The billboard starts in the number 7th position. The first 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, are the freshest free listings. That's what makes WorkApp truly free. The free listings take priority over the paid billboards. But you see, then in the 14th position is the next billboard. And then in the 21st position is the next billboard, and so forth. It's in every 7th position through the app, and everywhere in between is the free listings. Well, you see, John, when you add a lot of people on the platform around the world, then those WorkApp billboards become very attractive. When you've got tens of millions of people using a platform, those WorkApp billboards become hugely attractive to the big advertisers, like, let's just, for an example, say Toyota, one of my favorite brands. A big car brand. And there's other brands out there also that really look to hop in front of an active user base. And that's what WorkApp's becoming. But what we don't want to do is charge people to rank at the top of each other in trade and commerce. We need a helping hand in this digital age as the people to make our ends meet. And the margins are getting tighter and tighter with, the competition. And 10% is a lot of margin. 10% is the average margin that an e-commerce platform will charge for a digital shop feature. And WorkApps is 0%. We don't want to make money out of that on the small businesses. We can make money out of having a lot of active users. Then the big advertisers and the smaller advertisers will want to buy those WorkApp billboards. So it's just purely, simply a numbers game. But from our perspective, John, the more people we help and assist, the more WorkApp billboards we're going to sell. So it's beautiful, you know what I mean? And the free listings aren't prioritized under the billboards. It's the opposite. That's why WorkApp is free. WorkApp works for you.
That's really neat something, and I really appreciate what you're doing, man. That's really something that we have to applaud. And in real world today, digital has been something that, or rather, people have what we normally call algorithms. So, and I would like to know as well, does WorkApp have these algorithms and how are they working out for you and for that guy who will come in to work with it?
That's a very good question, And the first answer is no, we don't have the algorithms because once again, our mindset and philosophy is not about confining people's content. That's what an algorithm kind of does in a sense, is it puts it in a category of its own and it controls that content. And a lot of platforms use algorithm so that people essentially have to pay to get outside of the algorithm, and that's how the platforms make their money, and that's fine. That's commercial activity. But on WorkApp, we don't want people to have to be confined and pay to get out. We're a worldwide search without the algorithm blocking you from being on the open market. Let's just say, for example, we're in Australia and we've got a house for sale and we may want to attract an overseas buyer in India or in China or in California, or anywhere else in the world, in the UK. There's no algorithm confining that. That goes into the search engine for properties for sale, and it's all GPS driven. You can search by location, or it'll default to the closest active result for what you're looking for. And that's what's really going to differentiate us as well, John, is the fact that we're not using an algorithm to basically steer that content. It's the content on WorkApp is for the people and controlled by the people. That's the important part. And we end up with a massive, big active user base, which we can sell WorkApp billboards to, and that's the revenue model. That's the beauty of our commercial model, is it's off the back of creating prosperity for the world in trade and commerce.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. And, sometimes a lot of people come up with initiatives. They come up with the apps. Everyone wants to build an app. But the biggest threat in building apps, there are a lot of apps that have been built, but today they're not working. They're not standing. Some of them are not user friendly. But I was surprised with what WorkApp is doing, owing to the time period it has been there in the market. How did you design it to be a user friendly? What did you think? And somebody who's looking maybe to be taking part or getting into starting an app or developing an app, how would you be what we call a ladder to them or a guide to them? What was your main
first
focus?
first of all, I've got to say it was very hard. It's been very hard for both myself and our team. It's not something that's just been easy, and it's taken many years. It's taken 6.5 years. And in the early days, there was a few failed attempts before we'd hooked up with our IT partners, Milestones Technology Group. Since being with them in 2015, we started again with them and then put it to the test of just developing in the market. It's taken almost 5 years since then to get to this stage now. Wow. And we had to just keep trying and keep pushing on and keep developing and keep enhancing it and keep getting it live and keep trying that and keep testing it. And it's just an ongoing cycle of just keep trying and keep developing. And one of the things that is very advantageous to us is we were 5 years before our time when we started building WorkApp. We're very fortunate, that we started 5 years early because, there wasn't even a lot of apps on the market when we started. Like, for example, Gumtree's app wasn't even live before we started. They had their website and that sort of thing, and the Facebook app, I'm not sure how long it had been live, but apps were really just starting to go for it, but we weren't about building an app, you see. We were about building a platform that connects trade and commerce and helps people thrive. It wasn't about building an app kind of thing, It just so happens that, you see. So 5 years before our time, we're fortunate that we started. And here we are with digital evolution now, 6.5 years later after I started and started building this thing. And what it would have cost us 6.5 years ago to have what we've got today, you wouldn't have any change out of $100 million. You know what I mean? Like to have video and to have unlimited pictures and to have geolocation giving you the closest active results and all of that technology on one platform would have cost you a lot of money back then, not to mention the server capacity, which was very expensive 6 years ago, extremely expensive. Well, now it's very affordable with awesome platforms like Amazon Web Servers and other platforms out there now that are also competitors in the market to Amazon. So the digital evolution is just been huge, and that's one of the things to our advantage now, is because we started early enough, and now we can afford to be a player in the market, but our overheads are very low. We run a very lean operation, and that's also a massive part of our magic now, is because we can grow an unlimited user base. I'm talking 1 billion people on this thing without having to have a crazy amount of people in a building to pay every week, like the big platforms of the world do have. So that's another thing that's advantageous for us in where we're at right now. So it's all very exciting, and it's uncharted waters for a platform like of our nature to come in and actually, command a massive user base. But you know what? That's exactly what we're about to do, because we're free and we're fair, and we aim to help people thrive in the digital age. WorkApp works for you.
It does really work for us. And, in anything that we do, life, we're told, is a zigzag line. It has never been flat. You must always encounter challenges that comes with every success. So in terms of, giving hope to those who are getting challenges outside there, we can say that this is success because you are still on the process, you're still moving, and the path that you've left behind shows what you have succeeded in. So what is the passion? What is the power behind success? What makes you do what you want to do?
Well, for me, it's the collective energy. Like WorkApp has over 500 ambassadors that are people fully working with us, as a group, and that energy has formed in behind me. And so these days I feel like I feel blessed because I feel supported by our ambassador group, and by now people like yourself, that are seeing the benefits of what WorkApp's philosophy is and why we've built it. And what I would say to anyone that's going to try to do something, commercially, is first work out how it's going to help people. That's the first key to, I think, making money in the 21st century, is to make sure it renders useful service to the universe. First and foremost, that should be the question answered. Second to that, what problem is it solving? What is the solution orientation to your idea? And there's lots of great ideas that are going to come over the next decade because of, our digital landscape right now. There's going to be some insane, phenomenal ideas, and I'm excited to be, just one of those ideas that's coming through, and there's going to be many others. So I just really hope that people get out and follow their dreams, and not let whoever influenced them to think that they can't. Just get out there because you can, sort of thing, and you've got to dare to fail in order to succeed, John. Like nothing's a guarantee, and when I started out and people said, what, you're likely to fail, and I'm like, yeah, okay, well, that's cool. I'm still keen. Like that's not going to stop me. If that's the case, well, that's like going out in the footy field and going, what, you could lose the game today. You sure you still want to go out in the footy field? My oath, I still want to go out in the footy field. Yeah. That's how it is.
Perfect. That's brilliant. That's power.
Exactly.
It's the energy that most of us don't have and don't grab or consume into their body. So it's lovely. And something also that I wanted you to handle or try to give a clarification to our audience, the geological area and prepositioning of WorkApp. Most of these apps, we believe some of them cover only a certain region. Yeah, and mostly, the people who come in today, the people who are having the biggest problem are the job seekers, as you know. So a lot of people will come searching for a job, and then they're like, I really need to go for a specific place, or I want a universal, a globalized, network or app that will give me all the geographical regions covered. So in terms of geological area and preposition, how is WorkApp designed to cover each and every place across the globe?
Well, see, it's growing through network effects. It's first and foremost, it's key to understand. We don't have representatives in every country that is an office and the big corporate type model that's normally happening. We have a word of mouth in process model through social media and our ambassadors, and that's key. But second is we're right to handle the whole world. Like if we use Africa as example, right now there's not many people in Africa on WorkApp, and soon there will be. And as soon as they are, it'll totally work for them because we've built it to handle everyone in Africa and everyone in Egypt and everyone in Malaysia and everyone in India and everyone right around the world. That's how we've built the back end of WorkApp, is so that it's just going to handle every part of the world. Right now, if you go on there in Africa, you're going to get on there and you're one of the first people on there. And that's the chicken or the egg scenario that everyone says, how are you going to get the people on there? It's funny, in the early days, I had that question asked a lot. How are you going to get the people on there? And my answer was, I'm going to focus on how I'm going to have it ready for when they come, right? I'm not worried about how I'm going to get them on there. That's the wrong thing to worry about, you know, because you can get them on there and what? Your platform wasn't ready to handle them. So why did you worry about getting them on there? You know, and so we just focused on the development and kept focused on the development. We're still focused on the development and we're ready to handle the whole world. So I think from the network effects of interviews like this and other things that we've got happening through our 500 plus strong ambassador group, it's going viral, John. And soon there's going to be a lot of people in Africa on WorkApp. You know? Yeah.
That's what we need. Yeah.
That's
It's
what I'm
beautiful.
talking about.
It's beautiful, and I'm really getting to also understand much more about WorkApp because there are a lot of things going on, and sometimes we don't get such kind of an opportunity. So I've loved podcasting because it opens up a lot of gates to me and doors to understand most of these things you see around. So I meet a lot of people and they discuss what they have. Maybe sometimes they're coaches, they tell you how they do coaching and all that. And now you have an app that is WorkApp, which is also helping me to spread the message about my podcast outside there. Currently, I'm living in Bahrain, which is the Middle East, but I'm from Africa, from a Kenyan origin. So most of these, when we do this, it spreads it outside the world and people come to understand. So the last thing that I would like to ask, I'll take you back to what is WorkApp. And what I need you to define to us here, what exactly are we supposed to be getting out of WorkApp? What should somebody expect when he opens WorkApp? What are we going to find there?
It's a digital platform right now that's growing, and what you're going to find is listings of every nature, business listings, for sale listings, worker listings, job vacancy listings. You're going to just see, and it's all in one big pot. It's all on the one platform, and you can then create any listing you would like. So I would say if you're a small business out there, don't worry about the fact that there's not many people in Africa right now or wherever you are. Just download the app and register, or hop on the HTML, which is workapp.world. Just hop on that and register and list your business. We're going to see that here in Australia. Everyone is going to see that. And you now hop on and, as you said before, no algorithmic block of a worldwide marketplace. You know what I mean? This is for everyone to prosper, is what WorkApp is. So you're going to see listings when you get on, and hopefully you're going to put your listing on there, whoever it is you are, and jump in on the revolution to get exposure. And one other thing to note is when you do make your listing on WorkApp, remember to boost it. You can go into the home page and you can press the green refresh to boost button, and that boosts you to the top of the showcase. There's no cost to boost. Whoever boosts is seen more than the people that don't boost. It's reward for effort. But in the search results, it's not based on who boosts anymore. It's based on the closest active result instead of who pays or boosts. You can change it to the freshest instead of the closest, and you can alter that yourself. But on the showcase, the What's Fresh showcase, if you haven't boosted in 30 days, you miss out on the free advertising component, but you're still in the search and you're still the closest, whatever, plumber or hairdresser. But if you want free advertising, boost it every day. And let's get the whole world boosting their listings on WorkApp. And that becomes a massive big search engine, an industry search engine that doesn't cost any money, that's free for everyone to prosper and make their ends meet. And they're going to save a lot of money in time to come, John, on the e-commerce side of things, not paying 10% of their margin for selling their shirts and their caps and for selling their goods and their wares like they are on other platforms. They're going to have that money back in their pockets on WorkApp. And that's what we need now as a society, is for small businesses and trade and commerce to thrive through our network of people. We don't have to rely on the big powers to be. WorkApp is here. Let's go.
And working for us. We are in. Thank you so much for taking your time, Shane, to be with us and also discussing with us a lot about WorkApp. I really appreciate you. And I guess it's night and you're preparing maybe to rest out of the day's hard work. It's always great to take your time and recharge. So it was pleasure having you. And sorry for the hiccups today,
That's
early in the
okay,
morning.
mate.
It was a really tough thing for
We
you.
weren't meant to have a Facebook Live. It's pretty simple, mate. That's all right. Just go with the flow. I'm just glad that we got to spend this time. And thanks for your time, mate.
Thanks so much, Shane. And I hope that we'll fix that thing. And one time again, we shall be back on Facebook Live and do it together, mate.
Cool. Sounds good.
I really
Righto,
appreciate
mate.
you.
Take it easy. Tell everyone about WorkApp.
Definitely.
Thank you, mate. See you, everyone. Bye-bye.